Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 31 of Coffee and Crafting. I'm so happy to have you here. Today, we are making a really fun project. We are making a whimsical lavender wreath using faux lavenders. And first off, happy Earth Day. I love to go thrifting. And actually, a piece of this project is thrifted. So this is technically an upcycled project. But I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Elizabeth and I'm with Country Peony, and Country Peony is a craft and DIY blog where I focus on simple projects and whimsical spaces to truly get you just to start creating, because honestly, I think that's what it's all about. The beauty is in the creation process and just having so much fun. Okay, so we're gonna get started. This project, I love it so much because it is so simple. It is mind-blowingly simple. When I show you how simple it is, you're going to want to make all the wreaths. It's not only simple, but it's very inexpensive. And so honestly, one of the things in the blog, if you notice, if you ever check out my blog, countrypeony.com, you notice that I have a lot of wreath tutorials on here because wreaths are so easy to make and they're fairly inexpensive. I was a first-time homeowner about 10 years ago, and I remember looking for wreaths and sourcing them, and I was amazed at how expensive they are. And so I thought, well, I can make my own, and surely I could. And so today we are going to make a wreath because it's so fun and it's so simple. And I love wreaths. Honestly, I put them on my interior doors. I put them behind me. I put them on my exterior doors. I think they're a great and fun way to welcome someone to your home. So we're going to get started. The projects that you're going to need is a grapevine wreath. This is an 18-inch grapevine wreath. Honestly, you can use any size that you have or any size that you want. I'm choosing grapevine because you'll see that you will see some of the background peeking through, which is totally fine. But I'm doing that because I don't want to have to wrap this wreath with some ribbon. And when I mentioned I got some of this thrifting, so I found a pair of these grapevine wreaths for $2 at the thrift store. They had this berry garland on them that had seen way better days. And so all I did was I just pulled it off and we're good to go. So I wanted to remind you that whenever you are going thrifting or going to estate sales, garage sales, wherever you go, look for wreaths. Look for wreaths that you can deconstruct because the bases are normally pretty good and they're inexpensive. So if I were to find this at a craft store, I could spend anywhere from $8 to $15. I think $2 is definitely a steal. But I will warn you that if you get it from a thrift store, sometimes there are bugs living in these grapevine wreaths. How do I know this? From experience. And so I did also put in the description below my blog post all about how to clean thrifted finds. With this, I just sprayed it with some Thieves cleaning spray. You can spray it with any kind of all-purpose spray. And then I set it outside to dry in the sun. That tends to kill all the bugs. So, not saying that this one did have bugs in it, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to, I'm going to finish telling you what you need. So you're going to need the wreath base. And then they call these floral ties. You can find these in your floral section. But essentially, they're just zip ties. That's all that they are. So you can use a zip tie from your hardware store. And then the star of the show are these lavender sprays. So the only thing here that you need is you need to make sure that it does have wire in it because you're going to need to bend it when you're putting it onto your wreath. That's the only thing you need to make sure it has. But whatever you have, I've actually done this project live before, and the number one question I got is how to make a dried lavender wreath. And I also have a tutorial for that for you below, linked in my blog. So if you want to check that out below, you can do that. So let's get started. We can start making this wreath. When I tell you how simple this is, I'm not joking. It is so simple. It's not going to take long at all. Okay, so we're going to start with our wreath base. The first thing I always like to do is I like to find the sturdiest spot on the back of the wreath, and I like to make my wreath hanger because it's very important to make sure to make your wreath hanger because otherwise you're not going to know where to hang your wreath. Okay, and all I'm doing is I'm taking the floral zip tie and I'm just threading it through and I'm just making just a tiny little loop, as you can see here. And then I make sure to trim that because you don't want that showing. You could use a clear zip tie so you don't see it. You could also use a wire, or I've used yarn before. It's really up to you, but that will allow you to hang it on your door or on whatever you're going to hang it from. Okay, so then turn it around knowing that that's the top part of your wreath. And then you're going to take your lavender sprays, and again, you're going to make sure that you bend them. So you're going to want to bend them, and what we're doing is we're going to make it in the shape of this round wreath. So we're going to bend them and then lay it flat like so. And then you're going to take your floral wires and you're going to do it in two different spots. One at the base of your of your floral spray, and you're going to attach it like so. Just make sure it's nice and secure on there. Like that. You're just going to attach it. I'm not attaching it around the entire wreath base. I'm just picking up the top ones. And this is another reason I recommend the grapevine wreath, because you can go through those, that vine. You don't have to go all the way around it. And then I make sure to snip it. And then I'm going to do it on another spot a little bit higher up. And for this one, you can kind of just grab one of the sprigs at the base of it. You don't have to grab the entire sprig. We're just going to grab it at the base, making sure that you attach it to the wreath itself. And like so, I'm just going to attach it kind of in the middle so that it is secure and it stays put, but you're not seeing the floral tie, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to make sure it's nice and secure. So if you can see here, I just attached it kind of in the middle. And then I am going to trim that. So we've got our first floral spray down. Very simple, very easy. And now we're just going to work our way around the wreath, okay? Hello, Joe. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions or if you've ever made a wreath like this before. So now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your lavender spray once more and you're going to bend it to the shape of your wreath. And from here, you're going to place it directly on top of the other one. And that is so that you can hide the stem, but also, yes, that's really just to hide the stem and just give it some fun fullness. And then you're just going to continue that process. So you're going to, again, attach it at the bottom. You're going to needle this zip tie or your floral tie in between your grapevine wreath and with the zip tie. And you can see, like I did here, very simple. And you're going to trim that. You don't want those zip ties showing or those floral ties. And then you're going to take the next one and you're going to, again, needle it through your grapevine. And this time you can set it, since your lavender spray is right below it, you can make sure to connect it to both of them. That gives it extra stability. And let me see if I can find that. You're just going to needle it through. And then you're going to attach it to the base of the top one. So let me attach this and then I'll show y'all what I'm doing here. And the reason why I'm not attaching the entire lavender spray to it is because I still want some movement, and I'll show you a trick to keep those in place afterward. Okay, so now I've got both of them attached. As you can see, there's a lot going on here, so I'll show you afterward, but I really like that free-flowing movement. I think that's beautiful. That's the reason why I picked lavender for this project, because it kind of just flows naturally. So we're just going to continue that flow. We're going to attach it at 2 points. My recommended spots are at the base, like right here, and then I like to go in from the back and attach it right here. Okay? So again, we're going to bend the lavender wreath. And if you're missing any of this, don't worry. In the description below is the original tutorial from the blog. So I'm bending this like so. And you're just wanting it to flow with your wreath. Okay? And then you're just going to attach it, again, directly to the grapevine wreath with the zip tie or a floral tie. I think the only difference is the floral ties are green and they're a little bit smaller. And then you're going to trim it. You always make sure to trim it because you don't want your floral tie showing. Okay, and then you're going to take it about halfway through. You can see, and we are going to attach the other one to it because you want to have several secure points on here. Okay, and let me see. You're going to kind of needle it through. So this is the third lavender spray that we're working with so far, and it's turning out really cute. You don't need a whole lot of product for this particular project. You can see it's coming together. It's so fun. And to get around the corners with the zip ties, you can bend the zip tie about 1 inch down and able to snake it around. Oh yeah, there you go. So if you don't want to snip it all the way, you can just kind of tuck it under there. There you go, Joe. Thank you. Okay, so we've got our next one. We're just going to keep bending. We're going to keep moving along. I'm going to show you how to make this entire wreath during this episode, which is amazing. So we are on, this is our 4th spray, and in the blog I use 5. So let's see if we think we can get through with 5 for this one as well. So let me move the hot glue gun out of the way so it's not hurting me. Okay, so we're going to attach it again at the base, and then we're also going to attach it. We're going to zip it here, and we're going to snap this off because we don't want that zip tie showing, or you can snake it underneath. And then we're going to, you just kind of have to play with it, okay? So since these all have wires on them, you kind of want to play with the lavender. But keep in mind, perfection is not what you're after here. You want that movement, you want that whimsical nature with the lavender, because that's honestly what makes it really beautiful. Okay, so that to make sure that this lavender stays in place, we are going to, again, take it underneath, and we're going to attach it to the grapevine wreath once more. And we're going to pull like so, making sure, whenever you pull these zip ties, you need to make sure that they're really tight, that they're nice in place. And again, another reason why I'm not attaching that zip tie directly, like if I were to attach it like this, then your lavender would look like this and you would see the zip tie. You don't want that. You want that free-flowing movement. So the zip tie, you can't see it from this angle, but the zip tie is right here. And don't worry about this. We will get this down. Okay, so I had mentioned we'll do, I actually don't like that. I think, no, that'll work. Okay, so we'll keep going. We're going to do another one. And this is our 5th one. So let's see if we've got enough for this. You want to take off any tags that you may have from the store. And for this one, we're just going to kind of insert it into the other one, making sure that you bend this nice so that it can kind of stick in there. And that's all you're going to do. You're just going to kind of tuck it up underneath the other one, okay? And if you can see how I did that, I just went underneath the other one and I tucked it in there, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take out that zip tie and just come underneath, making sure that we attach it onto the lavender and onto the grapevine wreath. Okay, let me see. It's kind of hard to see at this point, but you just have to make sure that you can get, that you are attached all the way, okay? Because you don't want that lavender spray coming down. Okay, I got it secured to the grapevine wreath. I'm going to trim this one. And then the last zip tie I'm going to do right here is I'm going to attach it here in the middle. And again, I'm making sure to attach it to the grapevine wreath first. And then I'm coming around and attaching it to the lavender, if that makes sense. And on my blog post, I have a full video tutorial if you want to check that out as well. I show you how it works. The hardest part is seeing the lavender from here where you have your zip ties. So if you need to work your way around, you can do that. But it's really cool because you don't see the zip ties when you do it this way. Okay, so the wreath is essentially done. Look how cool that is. It is so cool. Okay, so you can just stop here if you want, or you can kind of tame some of those lavender sprays. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, for instance, this is definitely showing from the other one. So I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm just going to attach some hot glue to it and just kind of help keep it in place a little bit. That's all I'm doing here. But this step you don't have to do. It just kind of tames it a little bit, maneuvering it to where you really want it to be. But that's totally up to you. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're just going to go around and maybe use that hot glue just to kind of keep some of those pieces in place. But overall, this is your wreath. It is done. It is beautiful, and it can make a really sweet, decoration, honestly, year-round. So lavender is obviously very popular in the summer months and into the fall. But I wanted to make this one today because honestly, I have purple flowers outside of my studio, and I thought this would be beautiful on my studio doors. If you want to put this outside, you can use hot glue for your pieces, or you can use Beacon's Power Tack. That's a UV protectant and a waterproof glue that works really well outside as well. So you find your wreath hanger and you just attach it with your door hanger or a ribbon, and you should be good to go. Again, if you have any questions, please check the description below. I've got the blog post for the full lavender wreath tutorial in there, as well as the dried lavender wreath tutorial if you have your own dried lavender. So this process is so fun. It's so simple. Thank you so much for saying that, Lisa. I appreciate that. I love it too. I honestly love the whimsical look of it. I think it's really beautiful. It reminds me of like wildflowers, and it's just, it's really fun, and it is so, so simple. So if you have any specific questions, please let me know. I'm always happy to answer them. And thank you so much for watching today. I hope you feel inspired to make your own wreath this spring, summer, fall, or winter seasons. Until next time, happy crafting, and I hope to see you here next Monday at noon Central Standard Time. Thank you so much, guys.